All right, do not get excited because I know there's a lot of problems here, but that's okay. We're going to do 1 through 6. Make sure that you follow this because 1 through 3 is different than 4 through 6 because it's a little bit different with those. Because if we look here, is this in quadratic form? Go ahead and sharpen it. Is this in quadratic form? All right, so this is not in quadratic form. The 4x, this is not 0 over here, or 0 on either side. Doesn't matter. You want to have this as a positive. So what we see is equals this x, this 4x. Not that way. It should be x squared followed by an x followed by a non-x. That is quadratic form. So what we're going to do is use that third thing that remember we have distribute, combine like terms, remove the extra variable, add, subtract, multiply, divide. Well, we can use the extra variable part here. Well, we don't want this x4 here or 4x here. We want it over here. So what do? We're just going to subtract 4x from both sides of the equation because we can do that. Whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. It keeps the equation equal. So if I take 4x minus 4x, I get 0. You should be writing this down. These are notes. Now, can I add this minus 4x to this x squared? No, not like terms. Can I add this 4x minus 4x to the negative 21? No, I can't. This has an x, that does not have an x. They're not like terms. None of these are like terms. I cannot add them together. So what I'm going to do is go x squared minus 4x minus 21. Why? Because quadratic form tells me that. This is the A, this is the B, this is the C, and it has to be in that form. The squared, followed by the regular, followed by no variable. X squared, x, no x. Has to be in that format. That is quadratic form. A, x plus B, x plus C equals 0. That's the quadratic form. Where that's the A, that's the B, that's the C. But, sorry, I forgot the squared. So, x squared, x, no x. That's why we have A, B, C. So we have to put in that format. These are not like terms. We cannot add them together. By the way, when we do 4 through 6, you're going to have like terms. So, just in case you didn't get it, here's another one. I'm going to have one more after that. Here is our equals sign. So you're going to throw that line down there. I want everything to be to the left. I don't want this to be negative. I could take this and make it negative over here, but I don't want negative. I hate negatives. So, I want to get rid of both of these. So I'm going to take this one first. I'm going to subtract 11x. Opposite operations are gone, right? Negative 11 minus 11, x is gone. Now, I am left with 80. Can I add these two together? No, why not? One's an x squared, one's an x. They're not alike. So I'm going to put x squared minus 11x. I cannot add them together. They are not like terms. One is an x squared, one is an x. They're different. It's like having a blue shirt and a green shirt. We don't have two blues. We don't have two greens. We have separate ones. Now, I want 0 over here, so I'm going to subtract 80. Guys, this is all of those 5 steps that we've been learning. 80 minus 80 is 0. Now we have 0 over there. Can I add this negative 80 to this or this? Or any of these like terms? No, they are not. This is an x squared, this is an x, this is no x. So x squared minus 11x minus 80. Now I have what I can do. That 1 would be my A, the negative 11 would be my B, and the negative 80 would be my C. This is, by the way, how you're going to find it on any exam. They're not just going to give you quadratic form and say, oh, or quadratic and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to give it to you in the ABC and you solve it. They're going to give it to you like this, where it's all messed up and you have to put it in this form. So you have the A, the B, and the C. That's why it's important that you look at them, you just don't start writing down A, B, C. By the way, some of you, if you're really good-minded, what happens to that 2K? If I want to put it over here, what does it become? You math-minded people, what does it become? If I take this and I put it over here on the other side of the equation, what does it become over here? Yes, go ahead. It's a negative 2. Does everybody see that? When I move it from one side to the other, it becomes the opposite. So my negative 2K becomes 0. But look, what was 2K becomes negative 2K. So K squared minus 2K minus 3. You cannot add any of these together. You cannot do the 1. You cannot add those. You can't add it to that. That's a K squared. That's a K. That's a no K. Those are not like terms. Now we are in quadratic form. The 1 is the A, the negative 2 is the B, and the negative 3 is the C. That's how you can know that. Now, for me, if I were to do it, I would say it was my A is 1. I would look here, my C is negative 3, and then I would look over here and go, oh, it's on the other side. So I know that B is actually negative 2 and not 2. Because I know opposite operations, but that's what you need to do. So let's look at 4. Because 4 is a little different. We're going to have like terms. Now, if I were to put this in quadratic form, is there a 0 over here? No. So I need to do a little work. There's not a 0 over here. I do have an A, I do have a B, I do have a C, but it's not a true C because I have this one. So I need to make sure it's a 0. So I'm going to add 5. But do I have a like term now? I sure do. I can add it to this one now. So I have 4p squared minus 1p, because you can put a 1 there. Opposite operations are gone. Negative 15 plus 5, negative 10. Now I can put that in and do that as my A, that as my B, and that as my C. So, unlike these didn't have a like term, so I had to put it down. You're going to have a bunch that will have a like term. You need to add it to a like term if it has it. But if it does not have a like term, you cannot add them together. And that is going to get some of you. So look at this one. We have an x squared, we have an x, we have a no x. But we do not have a 0 over here. So what do we need to do? Pick one of them. I like getting rid of my larger ones. So I'm going to add 11x. Yes. We could add the 6. We could do that first. But I went ahead and put the 11x first. That's okay. We could have done that. Now, it's an x. So I'm going to add it right here. And I like doing one term at a time. I know some of you guys are going to go, well, I'm going to put plus 6 here. You're going to get confused. So my 11s are gone. I'm left with negative 6, the x squared. 1 plus 11 is 12x plus 21. Still don't have a 0 over here, so I'm going to add 6 like you said. Chris, we said add 6. So we're going to add 6. Now we have 0. 21 plus 6, because these are like terms. These were like terms. These are like terms. So we have x squared plus 12x, and 21 plus 6 is 27. Now we have it in quadratic form. We can do the A, the B, and the C. Let's look at 6. Same thing. Separate our equation from one side to the other. Guys, I always like doing the larger one, and n squared is larger than 12n, but it doesn't matter. If you wanted to, Chris, you want to, for you, it's like, let's take the 12n first. right? So what do I want to do? How do I get rid of the 12n or get it over here? Minus 12n, right? I can take that one if I want. And I set them up. Notice what I did. It's with the like term, Ryan, right? With the like term. If I'm subtracting 12n, I want to subtract 12n from the like term. Now the first three I didn't have like terms, but these do. So 12 minus 12 is gone. I'm left with negative 5n squared. I have n squared. 18 minus 12 is 6n minus 11. Now, if I want to get rid of this, how do I get rid of this? Or get it to the other side? Add 5n squared. But I'm going to add it here, here, or here. Which one am I going to add it to? It's n squared. I'm going to n to the n squared. And if I want, I can put a 1 there, right? Because now negative 5n squared and 5n are gone. We have a 0. If I add 1 and 5, I get 6n squared plus 6n minus 11. Here, we're looking at like terms. Could I have done that differently? I could have done them all together, but I think you're going to get confused doing that. So, does everybody see the quadratic form now? N squared, n, no n. Do you see that? N squared, n, no n. That's quadratic form. That's what we've been doing for the last 8 days. Was it 8 days? 7 days? Yeah. Well, and then before that, we did the quadratics and we factored them. So we did 6 days before that, and we saw it in this form. But if it's not in that form, you're going to have to change it to that form. What? It is shorter. It's like, here.